Hi, you guys. Maybe you can tell by the music, you can guess the theme of today's video. So, turn it down a little bit. I was saying in my last video that I had just purchased the most expensive deck that I have ever bought, and that's saying a lot because I bought a lot of really, $100, $150 decks. And I just got it, and I'm just like overwhelmed because I wasn't expecting it till Monday, and then it came early, and the woman who I bought it from was so nice, and she included this card, and now like my brain's going back and forth between I should just keep it as a collector's item, don't touch it, and just keep it and resell it. And then I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, I want to work with this deck. So we're going to talk it out. But without further ado, you guys, I somehow secured myself a copy of the MAAT Tarot by Julie Kuchia Watts, who's also the author of the Ancestral Tarot and the Journey to Ancient, the Journey into Egypt. This one's still available. I purchased this one as well, but just to let you guys know, so with both of these, there's only 1,000 copies made, but this one came out in the early 2000s, I believe, and it's been sold out for a long time. I got copy 355 of 1,000, and it's signed by her. And currently there are still, so I just barely got number 785 out of 1,000 on the Journey into Egypt. So if you're wanting to, jump into the ancient Egyptian astrology and tarot, because this is kind of an astrology system as well, go grab one of these before they're gone, because there's only a couple hundred left. They are brand new. I think I paid $90 for this without the guidebook. And then I just went in and ordered the guidebook because she has it printed through Lulu for $45. So we're not going to open or touch this or talk about this anymore. Just to let you guys know, though, they are limited, so you could get one of those. Currently, if you want to try to get yourself a copy of the MAAT Tarot, you're going to be paying $500 or more. I got it for a little bit better price than that. I think just because it's before Christmas, a lot of people aren't, spending that kind of money. I was super nervous, but I had seen the deck for sale so many times, and I knew that it was getting, more and more rare that I would ever own a copy, and I went ahead and went for it. And the woman that I bought it from, her name's Kathy, and she sent me a really nice thank you card, and it just says, Rhiannon, thank you so much. Enjoy the amazing MAAT Tarot. And she included these little teeny, mini cards, and she gave me a smoke and dill. So I ended up getting it for $430. That included shipping. I know it's a ridiculous amount, you guys. It is ridiculous, but I went ahead and manifested a coaching call the next day. So that basically paid for it. So let's go ahead and dig in. The MAAT Tarot by Julie Kuchia Watts, number 355 out of 1,000. There's probably a lot of unboxings on YouTube already because, again, this deck's been around for a while. But I also was able to, with this purchase, I got the workbook, which is substantial. And the woman that I bought it from never wrote anything. Everything's in perfect, pristine condition, as well as the guidebook. So everything is perfect, you guys. So it would be practical for me to keep it pristine like this if I was just interested in making money, but I'm not. And I'm going to work with the system, and I can't wait to dig into the workbook. So first of all, I'll just say that I love that she put the deck back in order, because I don't like to ship decks or receive decks if they're out of order. I just think it's chaotic. So I appreciate her putting it back in order. We're going to do a walkthrough. It's a borderless deck. All of her decks are this size. If you have the Ancestral Tarot, you'll know. And I believe that was her first ever deck, was the Ancestral Tarot. So this is the back of it. It's the feather, because, Ma'at weighs the feather of, justice, to see if you, because when you die, your soul should be no heavier than the weight of a feather. And if it is, it means that you, had heaviness and bad things that were part of that life, so you don't move on to the next world. The same way that you would if your soul was as light as a feather. So that's the back. So the first card, the Fool. So you'll notice that Each card is going to tell you exactly the lunar cycle. Okay, so the Fool is the vernal equinox, also Ostara. Okay, or just O-star. So Ostara is spring equinox, right? Vernal equinox is fall, so Eastar. A lot of people have already pointed this out, but there is a tiny little copyright on the bottom of each card, which is kind of a nuisance because it's just such a gorgeous, perfect card without that. But okay, sorry, 2006 is when it came out because it's stamped with the year. So the Fool. Look at this beautiful magician. I mean, is there anything more alchemical than literally creating a baby? Like, the sex is magic to create, the, seed being fertilized, the mother growing the baby and birthing the baby. There's just really nothing more magical than that. So my other favorite from her Ancestral Tarot, my favorite hanged man so far of all time is from that, which is the baby in utero upside down. And so far, we'll see what the hanged man is like in here, but so far that is my favorite hanged man of all time. And I think this is going to go right up there with my favorite magician. So the magician is the full moon cycle of Cancer. So it just makes so much sense that there would also be a picture of a mother, right? The moon plus Cancer. And I love how she also has, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this card, but a lot of the other cards, it'll show you the, almost would look like an infinity sign, but it is the pattern that the sun makes in the sky, in a solar year. And it has a beautiful name. I can't remember what it's called, but that she has that in a lot of the different cards in this deck. The High Priestess, full moon cycle of Virgo. And all of Julie's decks are very much ancestor vibes, very much, multicultural, and have been, I know that's the popular thing now. Most authors are doing multi-race, multicultural decks, which is great, but she's been doing it from the get-go. So I think she deserves some kudos for that. The Empress, full moon cycle of Scorpio. The High Priest, which is the full moon cycle of Sagittarius. So we have the new moon in Sagittarius coming up. They're definitely huge cards. You're not going to be doing any riffle shuffling, but I would never riffle shuffle a deck that I paid $430 for anyway. The Emperor, full moon cycle of Aries, of course. Kind of looks like Pan or some type of centaur. It doesn't show the bottom, but with his, horns there. Beautiful cards, you guys. I'm not going to do the full flip through just because you can go watch some other people's flip throughs of that. But I want to open up the guidebook and dig into this a little bit. So let's look up, just because it's in front of me, the Lovers, which is Beltane. Which that's interesting because Beltane is in the fall, isn't it? And I, associate the Lovers with Gemini. So let's go ahead and look up. No, that's right. Beltane's in the spring. It goes Ostara, then Beltane. Okay. So the Lover, or Beltane, then Ostara. Let's look it up. Okay. I was raised Christian, you guys. Okay. So give me a break here. The Lovers. I will say right off the bat with the guidebook, I'm not that impressed. The print seems kind of blurry. However, I'm pretty sure like she did with the guidebook that I just picked up for the journey into Egypt. I think she hires like a third-party printer for it. But you can just see that some of the, like, I don't know if you can see in here, but the print's kind of muddied a little bit, so I'm not really thrilled about that. So far, I can't really figure out any rhyme or reason to the way that the guidebook is, but I'm sure that I just don't understand it yet, but it's definitely not like in any order that you would think. So I know that it's called the MAAT Tarot System Guide Key is right here. And like if you put all the cards together like she has listed here, it's the zodiac sign. Like it's the zodiac chart. So basically, you know, all the cards and then the inner cards, and so I'm sure it makes sense that way according to this guide, but to look up a card. So for instance, we were going to look up the Lovers, which is card number 45 on the wheel. So that helps us decide a little bit better. And I don't know anything more really about the system, you guys. I just got it. I'm going to be learning. So don't be a fucking smartass in the comment. I remember I bought a tarot deck. I bought the Tarot of Magical Correspondences from Etsy, and it's a really Kabbalistic deck. Really super, got a ton of like nuance and meanings. And I did a walkthrough of it, and some asshole was like, well, first of all, they were calling me fat. So like, thank you so much. Like, I don't already know. And then they were like, you're too stupid to work with that deck. You don't know what you're talking about. I literally had just unboxed it. Like, I'm admitting that I don't know because I just got it. And I'm on the journey of learning. I'm on the fool's journey. Like, fuck off. Some people. So anyway, 45. I might be a master tarot reader of just the basic system, but these systems are all different. Like, that's why I'm learning more, adding other systems to and this isn't even for me to read, like, for fortune telling. This is a learning system to me, and I digress. Okay. So card number 45 is going to be probably closer to the back. The Lovers. Here we go. The Lovers, May Day or Beltane, right? So that is after Ostara, which is in March. May Day is another betwixt and between time sacred to the Celts. Like Samhain is the doorway to winter, Beltane is the doorway back to summer. This day is one of no rules or taboos. Anything goes, including sexual encounters. So that makes sense that it would be the Lovers, right? And somebody else's walkthrough of this, I like that they pointed out that it's really ambiguous. Like, you wouldn't know if this were two males. That breast that shows right there kind of has a little tissue to it, but it's not overtly feminine. So it could be a male, female. It could be male and male. This back, you don't know if she's got boobs or not. So it could be female, female. And we've got dark skin and light skin. So it's very much all the different polarities and duality. I swear I didn't put any lotion on, but I can already see like fingerprints on these cards. Oh my gosh. So anyway, makes sense that Beltane would be the Lovers as well, just because of like the sexual aspect, like she's saying here. Anything goes, including sexual or taboos. Anything goes, including sexual encounters. A queen of May is chosen from among the young maidens. She represents the goddess who is now fertile and ready to choose her consort. Beltane's fire burns the bones of Bel, and the shadow of winter or death is banished until Judgment Day or Halloween. The annual king is chosen. In ancient times, Celtic maidens blessed the fields with dew-soaked oxtails, ensuring a good crop. The goddess's sacred wells were also blessed at this time, water being the source of life and health to any community. The blessing of wells is symbolic, this book, like, look at all the big, huge spaces in between the words. So I really just am not a fan of the guidebook, but I'm such a nitpicky little bitch. So I'm just so grateful to have it. But like, why are there spaces that big in between words? And it just doesn't make sense. So sorry, the blessing of wells symbolic representations of the clear liquids of the fertile vagina, complemented by later symbols of the phallic symbolism of maypoles. Okay, so the well, meaning like a well where the water comes, kind of like a yoni and a shivlingam in Vedic culture. So the blessing of the wells was symbolic of the clear liquids of the fertile vagina, and then the maypole is the phallic symbol, or the male symbol, the shiva lingam, the penis. Beltane is a celebration of the joining of God and goddess in the sacred marriage, the joining of the high priestess to the high priest in the sacred sexual union, transforming the virginal high priestess into the newly pregnant and faithful empress. I never, ever would have viewed the high priestess as a virgin, ever. Because to me, the high priestess is much more like, I'll take any sexual partner that I want. And to me, the empress is more like, the monogamous, only has sex with her husband to get pregnant type of energy. So how interesting is that? But it makes sense as far as like the way that the cards go, high priestess too, then the empress. But I never would have made that association. So yeah, transforming the virginal high priestess to the newly pregnant and faithful empress. This union transformed the fool into her high priest consort, the holy father to her holy mother role. She is the fertile flowering earth that will bear fruit, and he is the return of the green man, which will nourish her fruit. Other names are Mayday, Beltane, Baal, Bel, Baal, Balder, Pan, Lord of the Hunt, the Maid Marian and her Robin Hood, Isis and Osiris. Symbols are the maypole, phallus, pools, ponds, wells, dew, and bonfires. Attributes, lust, and choice. In a reading, this card signifies intimate partners. This pair bond is stronger than most and would be considered as soulmates. The Lover's card represents a significantly stronger bond than even marriage or the Two of Cups. So I love that. So in this deck, like I look at the Lovers that way anyway, but a lot of people like to go really far out there on the way they look at the Lovers, and they don't even make it about relationships or love. But I definitely always want to look at the Lovers as the Lovers. I know it can represent choice and duality and things like that, but so that's our little card on the Lovers. So yeah, now let's look up in the workbook what she would have you study or think about with that card. So we'll go to the Lovers in the workbook. Now the workbook seems to go in order from what I can see, and like a normal order. So let's go to the beginning of the book on this one. So that's kind of confusing as well, but okay. No biggie. All right, so the Lovers in the workbook. To be so careful. This book is heavy. Now, from what I could see on the website, I did not see a workbook like this for the other tarot deck that's still available, the Journey into Egypt tarot. I did not see a workbook. I did see the option to print a guidebook, but I did not see a workbook. So, okay, so for the Lovers in the workbook, it says, without reading ahead, write your spontaneous thoughts about this card. Remember, there are no wrong answers. Well, I've already read ahead, so whatever. So it gives you a place to write that down. And then it says, MAAT Tarot Lovers, calendar association is cross quarter day, Beltane, or May 1st. So that's what it says on this page. And then on the second page, it gives more information, and it just says, in the MAAT Tarot, the Lovers card is represented by the cross quarter day Beltane, or sometimes spelled Beltane differently. Beltane or Mayday is another betwixt and between time, sacred to the Celts. It is known as the doorway of summer. So I think this is the exact same information that's in the guidebook. Let's see. But it's actually a lot easier to read because it doesn't have all those awkward spaces in it. So yeah, it looks like it's the exact same information as the guidebook. So not that we can go back and do anything differently because those are all gone anyway, but I probably would have just bought the workbook and not this guidebook because there's nothing in here that's not in here as far as information, but this one is harder to read. But I'm wondering if there are... I think there might be more information about this because this is a tarot spread. It's a spread that you can do too, where I think you use all cards. I don't know. Again, I'm going to need more time to go through it, but from my first impressions, I think that the workbook is probably worth it more than the guidebook. And then it just says record additional meanings here, so it just gives you some extra space to write down your thoughts. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not gonna use that. I like at the end of the workbook, there's different pages to do daily readings. Today's reading, put the date, time, your mood, your question, and then your one card layout. So that's kind of cool. Sorry, you guys, the book's heavy. And I don't want to like rip it or ruin it because like I paid a lot of money for it. So yeah, I don't know, you guys. Let's see. Oh, okay, wait. There's one more page for the lovers that I didn't look at. So then there's one last back page. It shows where it falls on the wheel, which is number 45, like I had said. And this has a lot more questions on it. So this says, write down your thoughts about this card. How do I feel about this card? What do I like about this card? What do I dislike about this card? This card reminds me of, what did I learn from this card? In the MAAT Tarot, the lovers represents the cross-quarter day Beltane. How do I think the lovers exemplifies the idea of Beltane? How do I think the energy of Beltane expresses itself in the lovers card? How would I interpret the MAAT Tarot version of the lovers card if it came up for a reading about home, family, health, friends, and finances? So that's kind of cool. Has you write down all the different meanings if it came up in those different types of readings, which is smart because some people get stuck in just looking at a card as it means this, and it just depends on what type of reading you're doing and what question you're asking, right? Then it just says ideas to journal about, write a short story about this card, meditate or use shamanic techniques to journey into the image of this card, and record the insights that you receive. So, yeah, pretty cool. So I guess we'll go through a couple more cards until I feel like I don't want to do that anymore. The Chariot. Oh my God. The Chariot is a full moon cycle of Leo. So again, that's kind of, I'm looking at the cards differently because normally the Chariot card for me represents Cancer. But, you know, this literally is not just the sign. It gives you exactly the full moon cycle of Leo. So I think if you did, like, I'm never going to use this deck for everyday readings, but if you really wanted to get good on your timelines, this would be a good deck to use because it's so specific in its timing. The Strength card, look how beautiful. And again, that traditionally has an infinity sign, but this is that path of that the sun takes. I wonder if it tells us what that's called in the book. So Strength is what number? Full moon cycle of Gemini. I would think it would be pretty early on in the book. Strength is number 14, so yeah. Sorry, guys. Now I can't remember what I was looking for. Oh, the name of that cycle. Here it is. Okay. So in the guidebook, here we go. The image of this card is the evening star rebirth and the morning star death. As the twins of ancient myth, the morning star disappears into the brilliance of the sun and emerges as the evening star. This disappearing and reappearing phenomenon occurs again and again with all the heavenly bodies. In the late autumn season, it is the sun itself that disappears below the horizon in the far north. The sun disappears into the body of the great Mother Earth. The promise of the sun's return is the winter solstice, during which strength is needed to make it through the moments of the deepest darkness. Shu and Tufnut, twin lions firstborn of Ra, from ancient Egyptian mythos, are two siblings that are quite interesting. Shu is most often depicted in human form, while his sister Tufnut assumes the lion's shape. Originally, both were lion deities, reappearing later in the Middle Kingdom as the twin lions of yesterday and today. Shu was the Atlas of Egypt, his role being to support the sky. His lioness sister was goddess of the sun and the dew, and the legend has it that she received the newborn sun each morning. Her brother takes the sun from her mouth and places it in the sky. Shu and Tufnut were two of the original 9 gods of the Heliopolis, but their personalities were later absorbed into Horus and Bast. Bast is the cat goddess, I think, so that makes sense. Some of the ancient text refers to the double lion in twin soul terms. So this is kind of a twin flame card, okay, cool, yeah. Some of the ancient texts refer to the lion in twin soul terms, the physical manifestations of the original creator Atum, whose energies assume a dual form upon coming into contact with the earth or material sphere. Twin souls follow each other from incarnation to incarnation. You guys, this is the first tarot book that actually acknowledges twin souls, twin flames, and talks about it. So that's pretty cool. Besides, like, these homemade ones that are now, like, all over Etsy. You know what I mean? Twin souls follow each other from incarnation to incarnation, sometimes never actually meeting up with him or her on the earth plane, but always gathering the experience necessary for the spiritual development to complete their union. Another explanation is that only half of the twin incarnates, while the other half watches over its polarity from the world of spirit. When I just did my twin flame course last couple weeks ago on November 11th for 11/11, that was something that we talked about, that a lot of times when you guys get into union with your twins, which I am now by being married, he gets really irritated and he finds me to be too bossy and too overbearing. I was explaining to him and my class that, like, a lot of times you're their spirit guide in a lot of lifetimes. So you literally were kind of bossing them around from up above, right? And they're like sick of it and they want to do their own thing now. So yeah, gathering experience necessary for the spiritual development of the complete union. Another explanation is that only half of the twin incarnates, while the other half watches over its polarity from the world of spirit. When the incarnated half has reached a certain level of evolution and awareness, then the twin may take human form. So I believe I was the one that was not taking human form, and I believe my husband was coming down. In fact, we both had several sessions of quantum healing hypnosis, and he immediately went into past life regression and he had multiple past lives. And I woke up in a box being buried, or thinking I was being buried, but I don't have really any connection to any past lives here, and I feel like that's probably why. I feel like I was the one guiding him from above. And I was also like, hurry up, because I want to come down and I want to be with you, and I was very impatient. So this is cool. This is so cool. Okay, so sorry, I keep getting on tangents. Another explanation is only half of the twin incarnates while the other half watches over its polarity from the world of spirit. When the incarnated half has reached a certain level of evolution and awareness, the other twin may take human form to create final polarization on the earth level prior to the ascension to the higher planes. Murray Hope, The Way of the Cartouche, which I talked about in my last video. I have that oracle. New York, St. Martin's Press. So, okay, this is quoting that as if that was in that book, but I had never read that. So I wonder what, it says page 151 to 155. Okay, so I just happen to have that book right here, The Way of the Cartouche. So let's go to page 150. So in this, there literally is a card that's the twins. This is that oracle deck I showed you guys if you go to my video, the top 10 decks, it's one that I forgot. And at the very end, I was like, oh my God, I forgot this deck. So the twins, the Egyptian symbol, twin guardians of the heavenly regions, the Shu and Tefnut, the twin lions. So Julie must have been influenced by this book as well. And like I said, this came out in the 80s, right? This oracle deck, The Way of the Cartouche, came out in the 80s, and I got that copy as well. So, and I was talking about how cool this is, and I'll have to maybe do a video of just this system. It's really, really cool. Okay, so keywords are upright, meaning polarity, integration, partnership, marriage. I've done a couple readings with this, and this card just hasn't come up, so that's why I wasn't aware of it. You guys, I cannot stand my hair down. I'm sorry. I play with it constantly. I need to just keep it up in a bun. Makes me like claustrophobic. Reversed meanings, egocentricity, divisiveness, separation. Upright meanings of the cards, the spiritual, transpersonal, or superconscious level. There are several schools of thought regarding the function and the nature of the twin soul. Some dismiss the idea completely, while others teach that we follow our twin soul through incarnation to incarnation, sometimes never actually meeting up with him or her on the earth plane, but always gathering the experience necessary for the spiritual development of the complete union. Yet a third philosophy subscribes to the theory that only one half of the twin incarnates. I totally believe that, because I don't think that we're collecting karma with each other lifetime to lifetime. That's what our karmics do. So that's why there's that connection to your twin so instantly when you meet them, because you have not been near or around this person physically since you were brought into physical existence. And then that other one stayed up there and you came down here. Okay. While one half watches over its polarity from the world of spirit as and when the incarnated half has reached a certain level of evolution. So this is the part that was in the MAAT Tarot book, right? That she took out. Spiritually, this card represents the twin soul, and you may interpret this in whichever way you choose, according to your own inclinations and beliefs. If you are destined to complete the twinning in this life, the position taken by the card in a reading will indicate in which area of life you are likely to make the encounter or may have already made it. So this is saying if you got this twin card in a reading, depending on what position it came in, that would tell you kind of when and how you were going to meet your twin soul. And maybe if it never comes up in a reading, then that's maybe not going to be a significant happening in this lifetime. The psychological, mental, or subconscious level of the twins embodies the principle of integration. While none of us here on earth is perfect, there are degrees of balance, and we should strive to achieve the best possible. We are a polarity within ourselves, having, as Jung said, an anima and an animus, both of which need to find a degree of expression if overall personality is to function satisfactorily. Many people seek to achieve this through partnership with another, so the twins represents both the polarizing of the twin aspects with ourselves and our attempts as an integration through partnerships with others. These partnerships may be emotional, marital, business, or simply friendly ones. Therefore, the twins falling in the second house would represent the joint financial arrangement, while a seventh house position would incline more toward a legalized marital situation. In the 11th house, a deep and sincere friendship would be the message. In the first house, the interference would be drawn of coming to terms with the two aforementioned aspects within the self, or alternatively, personal realization through contact with another. In the later case, one would need to look to the other cards in the reading for confirmation. So, you guys, so cool. Don't want to get tangent on that, but this system's so awesome. And I feel like now what's going to happen is I'm always going to look at this strength card in every tarot deck as a twin flame. And I've mentioned in other videos that I've done, currently the card that I identified with twin flames was the Two of Pentacles, because it has twin pentacles surrounded by that infinity sign. But now I can have the strength card as that association, and I do a lot of twin flame readings, like a lot. So that is so cool. Full moon, and it does make sense when you think of Gemini, but I never associated Gemini with the strength card, because currently I was always looking at the strength card as Leo. I do want to check real quick with my other ancient Egyptian system that I use, that was also in my top 10 decks, which was my Brotherhood of the Light Tarot. I want to see what astrological association they make, and see if it matches up with this. It should, in theory, right? Sorry, this video is probably going to be longer than I thought it was going to be. Okay, you guys, this is how my mind works in real life. I would be doing this on my own, talking to myself, so I'm just doing it with you guys. Okay, so let's go to the number, Strength is the number 8 card, right? Yeah. And for them, they have it as Capricorn. So that doesn't really fit. See the Capricorn symbol up there? So I don't know. I'm just so confused. I'm just so confused. But anyway, okay. So that's the strength card. And let's get back to, because I didn't even finish this part of the guidebook. Okay, other names are Horus, Atlas of Egypt, and Bast, goddess of dew and sun, Zeus and Nemesis, Polydeuces and Castor, Dionysus and Semele, Hercules associated with Shu, the white goddess of Robert Graves, Egyptian warrior god. On her, Sekhmet, lion-headed goddess of the sun. Symbols, twin lions of today and yesterday, sun and moon, light and dark, morning star and evening star, sleep and death. Attributes, taking over of feminine darkness over light, surrender and faith. Full moon in Gemini is the key phrase, I think. In a reading, when seeking information about timing, this card would represent the darkness before the dawn. It represents the inner strength needed to transform a situation. It represents a strong couple working together to create change. This card represents the power of the subconscious, intuitive and feminine over the conscious, logical, masculine. So, wow. I have a lot to absorb here with these cards. It would take 3 hours if I did every single card. So I'm just going to continue to flip through. The Hermit, always my favorite card. I love the Hermit. This is a beautiful rendition. Looks like a beautiful moonstone or something in that. Which is the full moon cycle of Capricorn. So that makes sense, you guys. I've always been so attached to the Hermit. But traditionally, the Hermit is Virgo, I think. See, I'm going to go off on too many tangents, but that's so cool to me. That is the full moon cycle of Capricorn, you guys. Love that. Look at this wheel of fortune. Oh my God. Which is the timing of Candlemas or Olmec. I'm not sure what Sabbat that is, but look at the zodiac. And it's like the mother and the child. The Justice card. That is Ma'at. Okay, that is Ma'at. Weighing the feather and the soul. Full moon cycle of Libra, which makes sense, right? So that matches up what we would traditionally think of. The Hanged Man. Oh my gosh, similar to the Ancestral Tarot. It does show a baby in utero. The Hanged One, Lammas. Which makes sense with that grain of wheat there. The Death card, which is the full moon cycle of Taurus. Normally would be associated with Scorpio, but those are the sun associations really also too, if we're thinking about it. And this is the lunar association. So that's how it works. I think it would still represent sun in Scorpio, but it represents the moon in Taurus, the full moon in Taurus. Which makes sense, right? Because those are the polar opposites. Now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting it. Okay, Temperance, full moon cycle of Pisces. Look how beautiful that is. Wow, I'm already looking at the next card and being so distracted. Look at this Devil card, you guys, which is traditionally the sun in Capricorn, right? Which is the devil, but that is not at all what I expected. And winter solstice Yule. So I guess really what this is all about is, for me, you know, we chose here to come here on this earth, free will. And, you know, devil, Lucifer, was trying to just let us come here and not make any mistakes and just have everything be perfect. And Jesus wanted us to be able to have free will. So, I mean, I don't know. Some people say that they're mixed up, right? Like that Jesus is Lucifer and Lucifer is Jesus, and that's why all the churches are so corrupt. But, you know, now I'm going down a rabbit hole, but that's just not what I expected at all. But how beautiful is that? Winter solstice, the devil. She's giving birth. The Tower, which is the autumnal equinox of Mobon. Sorry about the ring light glare. And volcano, very much tower, right? The Judgment, which is Samhain or Halloween. The Star, full moon cycle of Aquarius. The moon is the 13th full moon. Because in a lunar year, there are 13 full moons. 12 months, but 13 full moons. The sun is the summer solstice or Litha, so that makes sense. Oh my gosh, they're all little spermies going to the egg. That's really cool. So technically the sun is the feminine, is the egg, but these little sperms are going to go fertilize it. The World, beautiful. Which is the central card. So there is no lunar association there. So there's our major arcana. So yeah, let's see. There is like a, you know, like card that I would use as like a bookmark, which I'm going to put in that book right there. I just don't think I'm going to go through the minor arcana, but then I can feel like I can hear people go, no, you have to. So just quickly, because like literally I'm going to run out of memory. Ace of Swords, Season of Autumn. Two of Swords, New Moon in Libra. Wow. That's beautiful. Three of Swords, First Quarter Moon in Capricorn. Brutal. Brutal. Four of Swords, Last Quarter Moon in Cancer. Five of Swords, New Moon in Scorpio. I would not have associated the new moon with Five of Swords. Six of Swords, First Quarter Moon in Aquarius. Seven of Swords, last quarter moon in Leo. This one's cool. Eight of Swords, full moon in Sagittarius. That's so like what's going on in this world right now, and for real. Nine of Swords, full quarter moon in Pisces. Ten of Swords, last quarter moon in Virgo. Princess of Swords, full moon in Taurus. So instead of a page, we've got a princess. And then instead of a knight, we have a prince. Prince of Swords is the autumnal equinox. Then we have a queen, full moon in Gemini. Makes sense. King of Swords, full moon in Aries. Now that one I didn't see coming. But I guess I do because, again, full moon in Aries happens when the sun's in Libra. Ace of Cups, season of spring. Makes sense. Two of Cups, new moon in Aries. Three of Cups, first quarter moon in Cancer. That's a cool card. Some witchcraft going on there. Four of Cups, last quarter moon in Capricorn. Five of Cups, new moon in Taurus. Six of Cups is the first quarter moon in Leo. Seven of Cups is the last quarter moon in Aquarius. Eight of Cups is the new moon in Gemini. As a Mormon, that is giving me Joseph Smith in the Garden of Gethsemane. Or was that what it is? The Garden of... when he prays and Angel Moroni comes down. If you're Mormon, if you know, you know. What is that garden called? Anyway, that's going to drive me nuts. Nine of Cups, first quarter moon in Virgo. And that makes sense for Nine of Cups because Nine of Cups' wish is coming true. And see her, she's getting ready to blow on the dandelion when it turns to seed, which everybody made a wish on when they were kids. 10 of Cups, last quarter moon in Pisces. Love it. 10 of Cups has to have that vibe. I don't... If you guys watched my unboxing of the Fauna Bell Tarot, you know how I ripped apart that 10 of Cups. I need the rainbow. I need the fucking lovers. I need the white picket fence. I need the house. I need all of that. Princess of Cups, full moon in Libra. Prince of Cups, vernal equinox. Queen of Cups, full moon in Scorpio. King of Cups, full moon in Sagittarius. Ace of Wands, season of winter. That's also not what I would have thought. I would see Ace of Wands as season of spring. This is why it makes it hard for people to learn because there's just so many conflicting things, right? Two of Wands is the last quarter moon in Sagittarius. Three of Wands, first quarter moon in Gemini. Four of Wands, new moon in Pisces. I don't love that Four of Wands at all. You know, I want the party, the wedding, that Four of Wands. What's this all about? I'm going to run out of time, or I would look it up in the guidebook. But, okay. Five of Wands, last quarter moon in Scorpio. Six of Wands, first quarter moon in Taurus. Seven of Wands, new moon in Aquarius. Eight of Wands, last quarter moon in Libra. Very much Pride and Prejudice vibes. Nine of Wands, last quarter moon in Aries. 10 of Wands, new moon in Capricorn. Sorry. Trying to be efficient here. Princess of Wands, full moon in Virgo. Prince of Wands, winter solstice. Little baby. Queen of Wands, full moon in Cancer. King of Wands, full moon in Leo. Ace of Coins, season of summer. Two of Coins, last quarter moon in Gemini. So yeah, this would be traditionally the one that I seen as a twin flame card, but at least we've got that same, you know, infinity element. Three of Coins, first quarter moon in Sagittarius. Four of Coins, new moon in Virgo. Five of Coins, last quarter moon in Taurus. Six of Coins, first quarter moon in Scorpio. Seven of Coins, new moon in Leo. And Eight of Coins, last quarter moon in Aries. Nine of Coins, first quarter moon in Libra. One of my favorite cards always, and this is beautiful. So first quarter moon in Libra makes sense for me with Nine of Pentacles. 10 of Coins is new moon in Cancer. We've got the Sephiroth, the Tree of Life here. Princess of Coins is the full moon in Pisces. Prince of Coins, summer solstice, very much Santorini or like Greek vibes to me. Queen of Coins, full moon in Capricorn. Beautiful. And finally, the King of Coins is the full moon in Aquarius. So that is my MAAT Tarot deck, the most expensive deck that I have ever purchased, and God willing, the most expensive deck I ever do purchase, because I just can't keep spending money like this on this stuff. I've got to get my insurance stepped up for sure, but I will be, when I get the book, I will be doing the journey into Egypt when the book comes the next couple weeks. So please like and subscribe or talk shit in the comments, whatever floats your boat, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.